A week ago, my dad's wife, who was 7 months pregnant, was rushed to hospital after she started having issues breathing. My dad's in-laws were at the house visiting their daughter and grandkids when it happened. My dad went with his wife. I, nearly adult male, went to my sister's, 22, place instead of staying with dad's in-laws and his stepdaughter, tween, and other kids, infant and toddler. Dad's in-laws wanted me to stay with the kids so they could go to the hospital to make sure their daughter was okay. I just wanted to get out though, and I left without discussing it more. I ended up spending 3 nights with my sister before Dad showed up and demanded that I go back to his house. Context about why I didn't stay and dynamics. My sister and I are full siblings. Dad left Mom when she was pregnant with me. After he left Mom, he got a job driving trucks and wasn't around much. Then he moved an hour from us and started seeing us more. Then he moved even closer and tried to get equal parenting time, but since he hadn't taken all the time he was offered before, never paid his child support, and didn't have a place big enough to give us our own rooms, and wouldn't give up his bedroom for one of us, he was turned down. He got married, became a stepdad, and had more kids with his wife. Last year my mom died and my dad and sister battled in court for custody. I wanted to live with my sister. The court said my dad should get a chance since he never really had much time with me. They said my sister was too young to really support me as Dad could. I protested, but it didn't help. I'm going to live with my sister as soon as I turn 18 and we have a plan for that. Dad doesn't know, but he keeps trying to make me forgive him, give his family a chance and try to be a family with them. I'm not interested. Not in his kids either. He tried to sell me on being an older sibling until he realized I didn't care about his kids. His wife decided that if I didn't want to give them a chance, then she wouldn't let me have any photos of my mom or sister in her house. I gave them all to my sister. She even went through my stuff to see. Ever since, she reminds me almost daily that I'll regret not wanting anything to do with her kids when they're older. She also wished for my sister to end up homeless because my sister didn't want to know her kids either. Oh, and because she'd gone to court to make sure Dad was still going to pay the child support for her, he never paid Mom. Now, back to the current stuff. After my dad made me go back to his place, he yelled at the top of his lungs at me for abandoning my family and for not showing more concern for his wife and the unborn baby, or for the kids who could have lost their mom for all I knew. He told me he deserved better than that. I told him he deserved nothing from me or my sister. He told me my actions showed I wasn't growing into a man but a pathetic little boy. Am I the idiot for going to my sister's place after my dad's wife was rushed to the hospital? Not the idiot. He told you you're growing into a pathetic little boy. Well, he wasn't there when you were a little boy, so nobody to blame but himself. Don't feel bad, OP. Just try to endure for a few months more. Wait it out. You don't want your dad to go to the cops on your sister or fight her in court more. Exactly. Just following your example, Dad. The in-laws are better suited to watching 3 young kids than a nearly adult kid. They could tag team visit the hospital between all 3 of them or get other people to help. You don't owe your dad anything after the way he treated you your entire life. Why should you be asked to care for kids that you don't even have a relationship with? And why should you be concerned for the woman who makes sure you don't have a picture of your own mom and who wishes harm on your own sister? And the deadbeat who hasn't provided child support for his existing kids, but this stepmom wants more kids with him. Yeah, you don't owe anyone anything. But remember that grace, even short term, will serve you better. The reason why I said everyone's the idiot here, though, is this was a medical emergency. You honestly could have done the humane thing and stayed long enough for your father's wife's parents to go to the hospital and make sure their kid was okay. It's called human kindness. I would do it for my worst enemy. For context, I'm a female 20 and he's male 22. Me and my boyfriend live together. I pay rent as well as the light and the Wi-Fi bills, which total a little over $1,000. Not including groceries and other necessities like toilet paper and soap. Those are the only bills since water, gas and everything else is free. This means he doesn't pay anything at all, not $1 towards even a bag of rice. He had a car that was given to him by his parents. He didn't do any maintenance to the car despite the check engine light being on and the car having over 100,000 miles on it. I work overnight and drive the car to and from work 5 days a week. During the day though, he would be God knows where doing God knows what, not at a job. Driving his car to where he wanted to go. He doesn't have a job and he only had one job for the whole 4 years we've dated, and it was only for 1 week. He quit because they told him to do something he didn't want to do. His car broke down a couple months ago. He's been trying to demand that I give him $2,500 to get his car fixed, and is 100% blaming me for it breaking down. Still, I simply can't do that because I only make a little over $2,000 a month and get paid bi-weekly and pay $1,000 in bills. I can help him with the cost, but I refuse to pay the whole $2,500. Every time I give my little siblings money or buy them clothes or something, he gets furious. I bought my little sister concert tickets for her birthday, and he lost his temper and argued with me about it the 2 months before the concert. He's angry I spent $250 on my little brother for his birthday. He's angry that I spent my money on myself and that I don't give him any, even though I often buy him clothes when I get clothes, pay all the bills, feed and cook him whatever he wants, with my own money, by the way. I don't know what to do anymore because he makes me cry, tells me how much I've ruined his life and how he's stuck in the house 24/7 because of me. He does this at least once a week and criticizes me for not giving him any money yet, even though he hasn't tried to get any for himself. Yes, I understand that I drove it to work and back, less than 10 miles a day, for a couple of months, but how does that make me financially responsible for what happened? Am I the idiot for not giving him any money yet? Why are you with this lazy person? He uses you as an ATM, a mommy who pays all the bills and lets him live for free and enjoy his life. And then blaming you because he can't even be bothered to get a job to pay a him bill? What does he bring to the table? Sure as heck not a nice personality. Ditch this dude. Honey, this person is abusive and is leeching off of you. You need to cut him off, move out, and spend a couple of years building up your self-confidence before you even think about trying to date. Right now, you're open season for anybody who wants to abuse you, and you need to fix that. Get into therapy and determine why you're willing to accept this behavior. But whatever else you do, get rid of him. And in the future, always keep a return ticket or a secret savings account in your back pocket. Never let yourself get in this situation ever again. He's a grown man. He can pay his own bills. But he won't as long as you let him leech off of you. You know he's no good for you. That's why you posted this. Now that you've got it out of your head, commit to making yourself happy. You can do this. You'd be a lot better off without him, and you can certainly afford to live on your own. I, 30 female, got married 2 months ago, and it was supposed to be a dream wedding. My sister, Emma, 26, was my maid of honour, and we were really close, or so I thought. A few days before the wedding, I noticed Emma acting weirdly. She kept making these little comments about how everything seemed over the top and asking if I thought my fiancé was really ready. I just brushed it off as pre-wedding nerves on her part and didn't think much of it. Fast forward to the wedding day. My dress was custom made and cost a small fortune, but it was worth every penny. It was exactly what I dreamed of since I was a little girl. Emma kept complimenting it, saying it was the most beautiful thing she'd ever seen. We all got ready in a little room at the venue, and at some point I had to step out to talk to my wedding planner. I left Emma and the bridesmaids behind, not suspecting anything. When I returned, my dress had a massive red wine stain on it, and my sister was looking way too calm for someone who just accidentally spilled an entire glass of wine. I was in shock, but the bridesmaids immediately started freaking out, trying to fix it, even though it was a lost cause. Emma just shrugged and said, "Well, accidents happen." I was devastated but tried to make the best of it. The day went on, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Later, I found out from one of the bridesmaids that Emma had been complaining for weeks about spending too much on the wedding and even said I was showing off with my dress. To make matters worse, Emma and her husband had been struggling financially, so I was planning to pay for their honeymoon as a surprise. But after everything that happened, I decided not to. When she found out, she lost it and accused me of being selfish and ruining her special experience. She insists that the dress thing was just an accident and I'm punishing her for no reason. My parents think I should just let it go and help her out, but honestly, I'm still hurt. Am I the idiot? Ha ha ha. Oh dear. Look at Miss Jealous having to face the consequences of her actions. Not the idiot. Sis sabotaged your wedding because of her raging jealousy. Has sister even offered to have the dress professionally cleaned? You are not required to play nice. I'm curious who told her about the entire honeymoon thing. Someone is stirring trouble in your life other than sis. And tell your parents to stay in their lane. This isn't some sibling spat. She hurt you in the most direct way she could. That's abhorrent. OP, tell her you accidentally spent the money on something else, with wide Pikachu eyes looking all confused. Say you're not punishing her for any reason, but since the dress accidentally got red wine on it, you spent the money fixing it and then realized you accidentally didn't have anything left for her honeymoon. As a bride herself, she should understand how important the dress is. My wife and I have been married for 14 years and we have 3 kids. My wife has always been snoopy and nosy, but it didn't bother me until recently. My sister and I have been close since childhood and we tell each other everything. Many years ago, my sister confessed to me that she cheated on her husband in an emotional affair that lasted for a month. She was in tears and really remorseful. Her marriage was going through difficulties. We did talk a lot about it, and after the talks, my sister joined therapy, became sober, and is living a really happy life with her husband now. My wife never knew about this because I always make sure to keep my conversations private. However, a couple of weeks ago, I was a bit intoxicated, got lazy, and wasn't as careful when speaking with my sister. My sister was talking about how that was the turning point in her life and how she couldn't be happier now. However, my wife overheard this conversation and asked me about it the next day. I told my wife it was none of her business, but my wife kept talking about how it wasn't fair to the husband and that the husband deserved to know. I told my wife to let it go, but she called my sister's husband directly and told him what she'd heard. I was shocked and really angry at my wife. My sister's marriage is on the rocks now. Her husband is seriously considering divorce. I told my wife that if my sister went through a divorce, then I would go through a divorce too. My wife was shocked, apologized a lot, and said she would never do this again, but I don't think this is reparable. My wife is begging me to at least think of our kids and how disruptive a divorce would be. The atmosphere at our house is really tense now, and I'm no longer sleeping in the same room as my wife. I refuse to talk to her or have her breakfast or dinner when she makes it. I instead just go out to eat. My wife has cried a few times, but I think those are empty tears. Am I the idiot for considering divorce? You and your sister had no problem knowing that she cheated on her husband, lied to him and kept it a secret from him for years. You had no problem looking your brother-in-law in the face for years, knowing your sister lied to him and cheated on him. Your wife finds out and tells him, which took, a week? And now you want a divorce, saying your relationship isn't reparable? After years of the crap you and your sister pulled? That's hilarious. The only thing your wife did wrong is apologize. You are the idiot. Even your wife finding out was your and your sister's fault because you two couldn't keep it to yourselves. This should open up your wife's eyes to the person you are, someone who hides cheating and then uses emotionally abusive tactics to punish her rather than talking it out or trying to fix it. My mom said the worst part about my dad's infidelity is that every in-law, mutual friend, and all of my dad's co-workers smiled to her face at family functions, friendly gatherings, and work events, all while knowing exactly what my dad was doing. My sister is my best friend, and honestly, her husband is an idiot, but if she was cheating, I would urge her to fess up, or I would let him know. Because idiot though he may be, in good conscience, I wouldn't be able to sit across from him at every barbecue, Thanksgiving, birthday celebration, etc., and smile and be pleasant with him knowing my sister was betraying him or had betrayed him. That crap is more hurtful than the actual cheating. I, female 24, and my fiancé 27 male have been together for 4 years this month. He moved to live with me 3 years ago. My fiancé doesn't get to see his family much due to living an hour from them, and a lot of them tend to be not good to be around for his mental health. He hasn't been able to see his brother a lot over the last 6 years or so. He's only seen him a handful of times. Anyways, fast forward to today. I worked today, picked him up after work, and we went home. He's having a couple of drinks while on his game, and out of nowhere he says, "I think my brother's going to be coming over this weekend and maybe have a couple of drinks." And I responded with, "Oh, all right." He said, "What?" I replied, "Oh, nothing. I just wish you would have asked me if I minded he came over, so I wouldn't feel like I wasn't being considered. And if you would have just asked, I would have said yes, but I don't know how I feel about a 19-year-old drinking in our apartment." He goes on this rant about how he pays for half of the bills and how it's our apartment, and if he wants to see his brother and drink with him, he's allowed, especially because he doesn't get to see him ever. Then I pop off with, "Well then, I don't want him here at all." All I could say was, I also pay half the bills, and this is also my apartment, and I would still like to feel considered in decisions on who is and isn't going to be at our apartment. I should get a choice and/or opinion on the matter. Anyways, the argument went on and on. Now we're just sitting here not saying anything to each other, and I just can't happen to think, am I the idiot? This is so weirdly controlling. He's mentioning possible plans for the weekend, but it's only Monday. This is him running the plans by you before he confirms with his brother. Literally, what is your issue? You're in for a fun fight the next time you think you'll be inviting someone over to your shared space without explicit consent from your fellow rent and bill payer, aren't you? You are the idiot. He has to ask permission to have his brother over. He gave like 5 or 6 days notice. What more do you need? A formal written request? I hate people like OP. I would have said yes, but blah blah blah. So what's the issue? At the end of the day, it is his home too. He shouldn't need to ask your permission as long as he gives you a decent amount of notice, which he did. Disagree, not the idiot. He needs to learn to be considerate of your shared space, and your concerns about someone 19 drinking in your apartment are valid. Assuming you're in the US, anyone drinking in your apartment makes you liable for them, and with him being under 21, that means you're supplying someone underage with alcohol. He told you what he wants to do what he wants, when he wants, without considering you. Are you sure you want to join your life with someone that thinks that way? Think it through before you make a big mistake.